A question that I'm going to answer is, what is Wicca? And I expect that this is probably going to stir a little bit of controversy. A lot of you know that the order that I am a part of was a secret society of a well put together Wiccan coven, and that I am a third degree high priest of this coven. And so people will say, well, is the order a religion? No, the order is not a religion. The order is a magical practice, and there's a big difference between a religion and a magical practice. My religion is that I am a Wiccan. That being said, and that I am a priest within that Wiccan religion. Also, that being said, I will tell you now, and I'm going to do my best to answer these questions. I'm probably going to have to do part 2, maybe a part 3, who knows. The Wicca that has been embraced by the neo-pagan movement is absolute trash. Absolute trash. I cannot tell you how spiritually empty and void and weak the mysteries of this neo-pagan Wicca is. It is embarrassing sometimes, and I hope that I can help change that, because there is a depth of knowledge and spiritual strength and connection that truly exists that would literally rock people's worlds. Unfortunately, because of the way Wicca was put together, there is a troublesome beginning. Now, I have it on pretty good authority, and if I sound elitist during this video, I don't mean to, because I'm going to bring it all back. I'm going to bring it all back to where this is why I feel this way, but this is what I think we should do about it. Okay, and then that's open for interpretation. But I have been very lucky to have met the people that I have met who were in and around the beginning of Wicca, that we know it now. Okay, Wicca that we know it is no older than 80 years. There is no ancient Wiccan, like Wiccan religion. There isn't. There is not. There are witch cults of Europe, that's true, but they do not in any way resemble Wicca of today. And here is why. Very good authority that Wicca is, or was, and still is, a marketing ploy. No, you're like, well, 80 years ago? What do you mean marketing ploy? Here's the thing. Aleister Crowley, who's a scumbag, flat out, and Gerald Gardner got together, both deeply interested in the occult, and they realized that the secret societies of the day were saturated with stuffy, prudish, oftentimes, and even worse were the psychopathic and sociopathic individuals that infested the aristocracy. Okay, so the secret societies of the day, you had to have money to be a part of, and you got that money because you were lucky enough to be born into a family that was lucky enough, or I don't know if lucky is the word, to have sociopathic individuals who were willing to rape, rob, and plunder to get that money, and passed on their seeds, their actions, and their genes to their progeny. So these groups were put together from these highly elitist individuals. Crowley wanted to break away and find a different way to market the occult knowledge that he had. Gerald Gardner had studied with and had met a couple members of a true witch cult, learned from them, but wasn't given the entire process. So they got together and they created Wicca. Wicca is the marketing ploy to get the poorer people, the bumpkins, which is where, which is truly what a pagan is. It had no religious connotation, just meant bumpkin or hick, or from the heaths, like the heathens, interested into secret societies again, where they could give a little bit of cash, a little bit of meager money here and there that they had to be part of it, or their time or their effort, and a new group of people that they could control. Okay? For whatever reason, it didn't necessarily work out the way that they wanted. So the Wicca that they got was, and then passed down, was kind of a half-baked idea. It was a merger of the old witch cults and Kabbalistic magic. Okay? Wicca can be found in the combination of Malkuth, Yesod, and then sometimes even Kether. Sometimes. But the general basis of Wicca is that it is a earth-based religion where they worship spirits and dance around naked and chant. That's not untrue. But how it's taught now is really devoid of what it really was for the actual witch cults. The astral world surrounding Malkuth is made up of 4 places. Now, Malkuth is the kingdom, it is the earth, it is physicality. You have the elemental kingdom of fire, earth, air, and water. Okay? You will know that as the 4 directions. You have the astral portal, the portal into the dreams in the astral world. That is the connection between Malkuth and Yesod, called the universe. Okay? The universe card sits on the path between Malkuth and Yesod. Imagination is the key to the universe. No truer words have ever been spoken. They used the old maxim, as above, so below. But they left out the as within, so without part. And there was good reason for that too. So they watered down this, made it very applicable and familiar to these bumpkins who still had these old world folk beliefs, but didn't necessarily always understand where they came from. This is what got passed down to what is now Wicca, and that is why Wicca today, because it has never really been unified, it's never really been put to what the old witch cults did, and that's kind of why it's pretty silly today. In the old witch cult days, there was... people have this tendency where they become pagans because they don't like organized religion. Well, let me tell you now, you better get fucking organized, because organized religion is a lot like a person with disorganized thoughts, or unorganized religion is a lot like disorganized thoughts. You can tell a person who is largely part of unorganized religions because their lives are highly unorganized, and I'm going to get hell for this too, but I'm sorry, if you're 500 pounds and living in your mom's basement and you're 35 years old and play D&D all day and you're a pagan, that kind of makes sense to me. Because nothing that you necessarily believe in really has any meaning outside of your own kind of self-delusional meaning, I guess. Or if, oh my God, I'm going to get hell for this too. But, I'm pulling this from direct personal experience of the people that I've met in many, many pagan cultures, or not cultures, but pagan communities. So also, if you live in a trailer park with, 6 kids who you don't know who the fathers are, and, you run around all hairy without a bra and talk about unicorns, fairies, and rainbows, again, I have no surprise that you're there. Because it's very delusional. Wicca in this neo-pagan movement is highly, highly delusional. And just makes no sense in its application, makes no sense in what is being taught. And if you've ever flipped through a book on Wicca, you have basically chapter 1, cast a circle, chapter 2, the elements, chapter 3, a bunch of useless trash, and that's it. That's not to say that some of the authors haven't brought some very, very useful information, but you see where they have to go to get it. There are authors that have to go and bring back, you know, real Celtic religions that had nothing to do with Wicca and intermingle it to try and really fill in the gigantic gaps that Wicca of today or I shouldn't say today, or, you know, I should say what Wicca has, not those old witch cults. Those old witch cults were very well formulated. They were very, very understanding of spirits, how to honor them, how to take care of them, and they had no confusion about what they were doing when they were calling upon them. Wicca of today kind of makes it sound like you can just call any old deity and they love you. You know, you can be like, Orcus, stand guard for me, you know, hail and welcome. And then, you know, Orcus is going to be like, yes, of course, you and the fake horns and toy sword. Yeah, I totally, yeah, no, you, yeah, no, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that. You have no authority. Have no authority whatsoever. That's why, and that's the other thing too, is that I'm a full-on libertarian in my views of freedom, and I have an issue with even the priest class, even though I am a high priest. A priest class should always be working for the people. There comes a time when the priest class begins to think that the people owe them something. You've stepped outside of the priest class. A priest class is someone who is called on by the spirits to work for the people and to be held accountable. To be a priest is a hard thing. To be a priestess is a hard thing, because you have to live in between worlds. And some people are like, oh, whoa, it's so cool. Oh my gosh, spirituality. But then again, they don't know. They really don't know. I mean, you have certain fears that other people don't have. You have to sometimes worry about shit that you wish you didn't have to worry about. But that's part of what it was to be a priest or priestess back in the old witch cult days. And that's why they had very specific, you know, signs, omens, and dreams that indicated who was going to be a priest or a priestess. And those people, that was just their fate. That was their destiny to uphold that. So, trying to stay on topic here. What I'm going to try to do is, in the best way that I can, now that I've offended a whole lot of people, I want to give what we do and try and help people who do feel something for Wicca, because Wicca is, I mean, it does have a powerful current. There is a true ancient current that flows through there, and especially for people of European descent, that is really where your people's spirituality came from. So it would really behoove you to get in contact with that and figure out what this connection is. You know, why white people, white tribal people, you know, loved the forest, why these men wore the horns upon their head, you know, what these women were all about who wore, you know, the bear skins. And, you know, I mean, these are very powerful, iconic images that are just embedded in your cultural subconscious. And when you look at them, it invokes feelings that you just can't shake, and so you get involved in Wicca thinking, well, I'm going to figure this stuff out, and then a lot of you just kind of get stuck in limbo because Wicca itself just was never fully formulated. So I'm going to have to do a part two, like I suspected. Please, please, please watch the part two, even if you're pretty pissed off at me right now, because I'm going to fill in the gaps, and I'm going to try to really, really defend my case, and maybe give you a bridge over so that you can take what you love and move it into a functional, working, with deep meaning type of spirituality that will really be fulfilling for your life. And I'm doing it for free. So, hey, you don't gotta buy a book. Sweet. I'll be right back.